A very specific thing I came across yesterday. I was reading an article about podcasters having on people that are associated with toxic groups and echo chambers. One of the most famous people right now is Joe Rogan. I don't know how familiar you are
He's an
with.
idiot. He's a NASA moon landing denier. He's basically someone who spent too much time in the MMA ring and got kicked in the head too much. But go ahead.
Well, no, well, I was going to ask more on a general sense. He got criticized for having some very questionable, very probably dangerous people on his
Mm.
podcast, and I was wondering what your opinion on what do you think about having those types of people on a podcast?
Well, it depends on how if he's believing some white racist nonsense. If he had someone like the guys who was it Charles Murray who did that infamous bad book about the uh, black people having lesser IQs. If you have people who are pushing pseudoscience, you have to make a stand and say, look, I disagree with it. I told you yesterday I spoke with this fellow or the other day I spoke with this candidate who's running on a party that's pro-life. Now, he was very, he was also in some ways left wing in terms of supporting unions. Um, so he was balanced enough that even when he said things that I didn't agree with, as an interviewer, I'm not going to debate him. I'm going to ask him to explain why. Um, Now, if I have neo Nazis on, they are so far beyond the pale. Number one, I wouldn't have a neo Nazi on. The closest I've come to that is I did an interview 2 or 3, maybe 3 years ago with a guy who was with a men's rights group. And generally, I don't like men's rights people. Most of them are a bunch of mewling pussies. That
Robert Bly was part of it, right?
who?
Robert Bly.
Well, Robert Bly started a different type of men's group. A guy named Paul Elam. I didn't interview him, but he started these uh, uh, MRAs, men going men going their own way, MGTOWs, men going their own way, kind of thing. A fellow named Dean Esme, who had a blog back in the early O's, had emailed me 5 or 6 years ago because I had written some responses to him after he had banned me from his website 15 some years ago. I thought he had sent me some viruses to down my computer. He said he didn't do that. He apologized for the way he had treated me. So I invited him. I did a show with him about the blog phenomenon of the aughts, and he seemed like a decent enough guy. But he's someone who was in this men's rights stuff and whatnot. And then a guy had a book out, and either I contacted him or he may have contacted me after Esme was on, and I interviewed him. Now, I did say that there were some things I agreed with them. Men do usually get short shrifted in custody disputes with women, even if the man is clearly the better prospective parent, single parent. On the other hand, like I said, a lot of it's just a lot of pussy shit. It's like, be a man, grow up, be an adult, be a man. Stop whining about how bad things are, especially when you don't have it as bad as a lot of other people who have different colored skin or come from other countries or whatnot. Um, but like I said, I would never have a neo-Nazi or a skinhead on because I don't feel I owe them anything. But if I were to interview, or if I were being interviewed, if you, for example, for some reason brought on a neo-Nazi, we started debating, well, I'd have to intellectually destroy the guy, and I could smash him like a bug quite easily, but there'd be no point to it because there's no challenge to it. But yeah, I'm
You
not.
argue with an idiot, right?
Well, there's the old saying, you can't argue with an idiot because the idiot will never learn and he'll bring you down to his level. So, I agree with that sentiment generally.